All right, Kane Insider fans, the Beast Brian London here on the field after Miami loses to Florida State 41-14 here in Tallahassee. Just left the post-game press conference. Al Golden didn't have an update on Duke, but I do. I saw him leaving the locker room on crutches with a cast on his ankle, but I don't want you to read into that because covering this team for as long as I have, knowing this medical staff for as long as I have, they cast everything. So even the slightest sprain gets a cast. I'm not going to tell you it's not serious, and I'm not going to tell you it is serious. I would just wait until we get reports. But again, Duke Johnson in a cast on crutches after the game. Meanwhile, as for the game, too many mistakes. You know, on defense, they just missed too many tackles. They had times when they could have sacked Winston. They didn't get to him. They missed him. He got out of the pocket. Coverages, there were times when some of the safeties, some of the cornerbacks left their man or weren't as tight on their man as they needed to be. I actually thought Coach D'Onofrio called a good game. If you looked at what they were doing with their fronts, multiple fronts, they had guys like Robinson playing outside, Pierre playing outside. They did lots of pretty good things up front to try to confuse Florida State's offensive line, but they just didn't execute, did not execute. And on offense, obviously they were running the ball well in the first half, had some good plays, pass plays. Stephen Morris threw the ball well, but in the second half, just too many mistakes in order to beat a team like Florida State. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Regardless, let's say Miami played a perfect game, I still think Florida State wins this game tonight. They are a really good football team. I've seen a lot of good football teams in my time, and from top to bottom, they are really good. Now, they have a couple of weaknesses. I don't think their offensive line is that much better than Miami's, but skill position players, Benjamin and Green and all these cats, they are really good. And Devonta Freeman, Randy Shannon, how do you let this guy get out of South Florida? That is ridiculous. An absolute joke that Randy Shannon could not get Freeman to come to the University of Miami. So, what are you going to say? Miami's now 7-1. The big thing is that next week's game against Virginia Tech is abundantly more important than this game. And next week could be a trap game. It's going to be probably a noon game because Virginia Tech lost and Miami lost. Who knows how big the crowd's going to be? And Virginia Tech's coming off a couple of losses. They're going to be ready to go against Miami. You better get it together next week. You better put Tallahassee behind you, and whether Duke is healthy or not, you better get yourself ready for Virginia Tech next week, because that game is in the Coastal Division, much more important. All right, we'll have plenty more on Kane Insider following this one. Again, Miami loses to Florida State 41-14. I guess the kids in Vegas were right. A 22-point spread.